What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday night. I feel like it's been a while. Also, happy Sunday. Well, I don't know. That doesn't sound the same. I'm getting the Sunday scaries. Not ready for Monday. I hope listen, none of us are, so let's just come and enjoy this little time with us. We'll postpone the Sunday scaries for you a little bit. Postpone them.
It's a lot better transition.
Yeah, we can't take them away, but we'll postpone them. So we'll do our best here. Hope you guys have had a good weekend. If you got to go to the orange and white game, hopefully you didn't get too wet. It ended up being a good weekend for it. If you are in College Station, on your way back from College Station, I don't know how many Vol fans made the trip, but if you got to go, I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a good time. At least, Tennessee gets the series win. That's the most important piece. And then besides Friday night, looked like good weather there too. So it's been a good weekend. Good weekend overall. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Good. As far as sports goes, there's not a ton going on out. Listen, we're going to talk about the orange and white game, but you can't that much. So we'll talk as much as we can about what you got to see, and kind of what Tennessee's going to get ready for this fall. Best I can put it that way. Also talk about QB situation. Of course, that's the big talk of the town. Plus maybe an addition. We'll also, of course, wrap up the Texas A&M series. Tennessee gets what's a good baseball term for just a shit ton of runs?
Hitting barrage.
Okay, hitting barrage. I like that. So,
or I like the nuke party, baby.
Oh, is that like, where did you get that? Is that off the top of your head? Is that a tweet? What?
No, it's just like, off the top of the dome.
Okay, I like it.
That's what it felt like, just dropping bombs in A&M.
Right.
They thought it was the Alamo, right?
Oh God! But thank God Tennessee came to clean that up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Good thing some volunteers were there. All right, guys, I'm ready to go. Hey, we got most important and fail of the week. Hey, make sure you drop questions in the chat. Get going. We want to talk about what you talk about. We already got Dave Roberts in here telling us go Vols, of course, and always. And I actually kind of want to talk about like the volunteer, because we'll get into it, I'm sure, with spring game, or maybe even fail of the week. I don't know if that's on if what I'm talking about is on your docket. But Tennessee fans are special, and I want to get into that a little bit, and like why we're passionate, why I'm passionate, and why maybe sometimes we tweet the things we do. So I want to talk about that. First, tell us where you're listening from. Landon's going to tell you guys about the people that make this show possible.
Yeah, guys, go check out our sponsors, Tennessee Tap House, Hound Dogs, and Blue Water Climate Control. They do an awesome job of making the show possible. And here is a quick word from our good friends at Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something, and it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
Shout out to Blue Water Climate Control. Shout out to all you guys listening and that will be listening. Hey, drop in the chat. Tell us where you're listening from. Enjoy the intro courtesy of some legendary Vols, and we'll see you guys on the other side. Get this show going.
Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne.
I think I got my swagger back. Oh.
I love it, baby.
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins. Bought it by Tennessee. Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, April 25th. Hope everyone's doing well. Landon, we missed you this week. We missed all you all this week, but Landon, we missed you this week. Hope everybody's doing good.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I was thinking about it today. I was like, man, it's been a whole week since we've done a show. It's weird.
Been very weird, but it's hey, just like the Vols, we're back. We're gonna and listen. We know it's not perfect. We know and I saw a lot of people like making fun of like people getting excited about the orange and white game, and to an extent, I certainly understand because we know what the orange and white game is. It's a glorified. I mean, it's practice. It's a scrimmage, and it's hard to get pumped about it. Exactly, and I've been saying it for probably 2 years now. It needs to be you need to be playing. I think all across the country, fans from all different schools would get a lot more excited if you were playing someone in another jersey. And I don't mean like an orange versus white. I mean like Tennessee versus Tennessee Tech, like an opponent.
Yeah, I think that would definitely be more interesting. But I think it's a long ways away from that to happen.
But tell me this: what's the difference? Because when you play those games, anyways, aren't you like, hey, we don't want to play we want starters to play first half, and then we want to start rotating guys. Like that's the goal, anyways, right? Wasn't that pretty much your goal yesterday too?
Yeah, but there's that little tiny chance that you lose, and so you can't go to a spring game thinking you might lose a game.
Hold on. So there is that. You're right. There is that tiny chance. You're not wrong. Would you rather lose in April, or would you rather that tiny chance exist in October or August?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. But if you lose a game to ETSU in the spring, you're probably going to lose a lot more in the fall.
Yeah, I mean, you can't argue with that. But at the same time, if you're going to lose them in April, you might lose to them in August too. I just think you're not going to lose. Like, how many times does an FCS opponent beat a Power 5 team?
Right.
Like, not often. No one wants to watch the FCS game, but FCS team play a Power 5 anyways. Pay them $500,000 to come play you in April. You get your guys' experience still. Just do it. Like I just don't get it.
I would like to know the logistics, like how much you'd have to pay them. Like would an ETSU or somebody like that be even interested in coming?
Oh, it's got to be all about money now.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But like, is that another chance for your guys to get hurt? Like Tennessee is. I mean, they're injured. Look at their front seven; they're injured. So I mean, I don't know if Would those guys play against ETSU or because it's basically practice, would they sit that out too?
Would it maybe okay, yes. I mean, yeah, you're gonna have guys that are gonna sit it out for sure. Mm-hmm. But if you look at Power 5, most of the time your walk-ons, preferred walk-ons, they would have been scholarship guys at that level anyways. So your matchup wise, talents, if you're playing a walk-on, you gotta think it's not like you're playing a walk-on against Alabama. So you're not as worried. You're going to play your starters. ETSU is going to want to rotate guys in too because it's it's a spring scrimmage. They want experience. I think you could run it like you did yesterday, and it's a fairly quick game. I mean, they're ejecting guys anyways. If they're going to call like a scrimmage, you might as well run it back. But I mean, you play like a normal game in the first half. You run and clock in the second half. Again, you keep guys injury free, things like that. I think if you did it, yes, the score obviously would. There's going to be coaches that would hate it because of that potential to get beat. But if you're going to get beat in April, you were going to get beat in August. It's rare it's ever going to happen. I mean, would you rather – I mean, I know a lot of people – I left yesterday going like, God, that defense is rough. I mean, I would have done the same thing if they had played UTC.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool. I think it'd be more interesting. I feel like this – like the spring game, is it even really a spring game?
No.
Anymore. I mean, like you said, it's practice and it's basically a homecoming practice is what it is. You brought some excitement. You got some VFLs back that maybe haven't been back in a while. Josh Dobbs, Kamara, some of those guys were back. That was cool to see. And it was a chance for the fans to get back in the stadium, and some of them haven't been back since 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah. No. I think. Yeah, and I think honestly, an actual game would make that an even more a better environment because now it doesn't seem like they're coming back, and I bet some guys were only there for 25 minutes of actual gameplay, if that. Like they were there for pictures, were there to meet the coaching staff, maybe meet the guys before the game, and then peaced out. Like, so if you add in an opponent at a 4 p.m. kickoff, well, first off, you're getting a lot more than 30,000 people there.
Right.
I mean, you had like 85 for Chattanooga after losing to Georgia State and BYU 2 years ago. So if you have that gap, I don't know. I just think it'd be a cool experience. I think college football needs to look. I mean, you know my thoughts on how stupid the Power Five and the Group 5 and the FCA, like the whole system, I think is just incredibly stupid. The NCAA, like a lot of people are like, well, the NCAA usually gets football right. No, they have football all wrong in my opinion. Like it's set up so terribly. So I think it'd be a great thing for Power 5 schools. Like I think this should be the only time they're allowed to play FCS schools.
Yeah, I think that would be cool because like you're not really saturating the market.
No,
if you will, like I think more FCS teams would be like, yeah, we'll come play you in a spring game, but we're not going to go get our brains beat in the fall.
Yeah, and
if I'm an FCS team, that's what I would do instead of that.
How many games do they normally do? They normally play 2 Power 5, like because normally that's a close to, depending on the team, that's $1 million check. Right. So I don't know what that would be in the spring because ticket sales aren't going to be the same. Things obviously aren't going to be the same. So like, how much money would they? I just think it's something that people need to look into. If you want to pretend spring football matters, make it matter in the sense of like, go really challenge your guys. Like go really see what, because game day, games are different than that very, very controlled scrimmage that you did yesterday. I mean, less controlled than some of these scoring systems, but fairly controlled scrimmage. I think if you want to be competitive, you don't want to play your teammates. You played them for, I think Tennessee only practiced 13 times this year. It's normally 15, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So you've played them for 15 practices now at this point. You want to go and hit somebody that's not, the guy sitting next to you in the locker room.
Yeah, I think it'd be a little bit different probably from coach to coach just because like this is a new staff coming in, so they probably want all the time they can with their guys. But yeah, I would like to see, maybe something. I do think it was a lot better. Heupel's not the salesman that Butch Jones was, but the scoring system is, even though we couldn't get it right, even though the score wasn't right on the scoreboard, at least At least it was something that you could follow, whereas Butch Jones was just like he was the only person in the world that understood that.
I don't know if he understood it. I think he was just like, yeah, give 1 point here, and then 2.5. Oh no, 3.5 points there. It was madness.
I was like, we don't have decimals.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a competitor in me. It'd be fun. We're gonna steamroll that. We'll pitch the idea. Chris brought it. It hadn't been a real game in years. I thought I remember going to games when I was little, and I was little, so I felt like a real game. So does it? I guess that's the question. Does it feel? We need to get like a 10-year-old. Just ask them. Do you think that was a real game? And if they say yeah, then we're good and move on. Mm-hmm. I think that's the telltale sign. But I mean, overall, seemed like you can't get to it. That's what sucks. Is like, I mean, if we had gone out there and we had seen, I mean, I guess you did see a lot of points, but I mean, you've seen the defense flying around. I mean, you still got to walk away and go, it was the orange and white game.
Yeah, because you can dissect just about every position, but when you really get down to it, you're like, who did? Because let's look at the player of the game yesterday. It was Jack Jancic, and a lot of people didn't even know Jack Jancic was on this team.
I did not know that he was on this team. I'd like to start with that. But I would like to also point out that when he was at Catholic, I said he was the best player on Catholic's football team.
Yeah, he was.
So I had no clue he was on campus. But, I mean, he's the reason they beat Brentwood that year. It was a really, really great game. He's the reason they won.
Put him in. I mean,
if you want to win, put Jancic in. It's that simple.
Exactly. Put 22 in, baby.
John Jancic was there for it, by the way.
He was, yeah.
Also, how many kids do they have? I think they have another one.
I mean, good God, it's like the freaking Mays brothers.
But that was when he called that first touchdown pass, I was like, which Jancic? And I was in the boat of like, he has another one. I was like, yes, he did have one at Catholic. So
Yeah, he's probably the best athlete out of all of them.
it's hard to judge, man. I mean,
Brock was a stud in basketball.
But yeah, it was, again, it's just like you got to take everything. I mean, I told you, we talked about it earlier, and I said, I think the only like real true positive I can take away from it is the offense was fast. So as advertised, they were fast. And I thought they were like pretty, again, very, very controlled environment. It wasn't going to be very complex, but I thought they looked pretty organized for what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, besides Hendon Hooker's just terrible interception, I mean,
I just mean lining up and going fast. That's all I mean.
Yeah, I mean, they took care of the ball, so that's something we're not really used to. So that was good. Yeah, they went fast, and they have speed on offense. They have speed at the skill position. You know, their tempo. I think it's something to really be excited for coming this fall, because you saw what Ole Miss did last year in the first year under Kiffin. I mean, their defense couldn't stop anybody, but hey, they're going to score points. At least it was more interesting than, if you're going to go 7-5, at least score points going 7-5.
Yes. I actually tweeted that. The only fun brand of football is winning football, but also yes. And to the defense, yes. So my point about the offense is I just thought, because I think that was one thing was like when Heupel came in, they had that offensive press conference. It was like, hey, we've got to. This is a lot to learn, and I'm sure there's still a ton to learn. But if we can get this installed, and if we can get to the line of scrimmage fast and correct, like you're ahead of the curve. And I mean, I think I didn't see any just glaring mistakes that I was like, I mean, good God, there's no chance they're gonna, you had quarterbacks who were all new, and I'll say that you have. I don't know about 3 completely different types of quarterbacks, at least 2 completely different types of quarterback. And I thought both of them seemed to work just fine in this system. So that's encouraging. You're not like sitting there going, wow, you can't, you have to be mobile to exist in the system, or you have to be able to sit back in the pocket and throw a great deep ball to play in the system. I guess that's a positive, is that, again, take it with a grain of salt. That could mean the defense is that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Harrison Bailey is knocked because, the athletic ability isn't what you think about when you think about this offense. But, I mean, he looked as good as anybody did yesterday. Right. And, I mean, he was probably your best player on the field. I said Jack Jancic was a player of the game, but, I mean, Harrison Bailey threw him one of those balls, and kind of threw him open too. That one down the sideline.
Hey, yards. The best player of the game doesn't have to be the best player. Dellavedova pretty much won. I mean, the Dellavedova pretty much won the game. The MVP of the the turning point for the Cavaliers. So it doesn't have to be the best player always, Landon, unless you think Dellavedova was the best player on that Cavs team.
There's no. I don't even know where Dellavedova's at anymore.
Couldn't tell you. I have no good guess.
That's how good like LeBron is. Like somebody is somebody. You never hear from him again when he leaves the team.
Okay. Okay. Yes, to your point about Dellavedova, but also Dellavedova just played really, really good defense that game, and maybe
one game.
Yeah, the one that mattered. Also, probably helped that. I mean, when you're a shooter like Steph, like you got to miss one night, right?
Right, yeah, and Dellavedova happened to be standing in front of him for some of those misses.
Exactly. So yeah, I think. But yeah, I think.
Let's talk about quarterbacks real quick.
That's fine. I mean,
we're going down that rabbit hole anyway, so we might as well just get.
We were gonna do it. I mean, I didn't think any of them looked just terrible. I mean. I thought I thought if we're gonna go in order of what we saw yesterday, based on nothing else, I think 1 to 3, it's Harrison Bailey, Hendon Hooker, Brian Maurer. But I did think Brian Maurer looked at times very, very comfortable, and I mean, I thought he looked like he could be the start. Like if he was a starting quarterback, I wouldn't be totally upset.
I'd be a little upset, just because you're gonna lead the country in turnovers.
Take the 2. I meant like take those 2 out, not like you don't have them and you're like Brian Maurer, starting quarterback. I wouldn't just hate it. Like I didn't think he played that bad. Yeah, you're right. He's turnover prone.
Yeah. And I mean, he makes he goes out of the pocket and makes a throw down the sideline to Jalen Hyatt. I'm like, oh man, what a throw. And then he has an intentional grounding penalty. Like he's all over. He's the most inconsistent player I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, I think potential wise, he's probably your best quarterback, but he's going to have his downs are going to be really down. So, I mean, it's all about who you trust. And I just don't know if you can really put a ton of trust in Brian Maurer. I like to think so, but I just, to this point, I don't think you can. Yeah.
And I'll say this. I thought Harrison Bailey was the best quarterback yesterday, but I've got to think experience-wise, that coaching staff is going to probably, if you played your first game tomorrow, I would probably think they roll with Hendon Hooker as the starter, as the number one quarterback.
Yeah, we talked to Eric Kane last week, and he said that would be his starting quarterback. But yesterday, since we've kind of heard Hendon Hooker was probably the leader up to this point, I thought yesterday he didn't impress me to where I was like, yeah, I could see that. I didn't see that yesterday. I didn't think oh, yeah, he's been the starter all through camp. No, that's not what I saw yesterday.
I think that's kind of been the theme, though, is he's not the starter because he won it. He's kind of the starter by default.
Right.
And I don't think Harrison Bailey went out there and won the job. So I think if I was still going to make my choice, just like we did with Eric Kane last week, I'm probably still taking Hendon Hooker as a starter.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no doubt Harrison Bailey had a good day yesterday.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it wasn't like Jalen Hyatt just burned a walk-on down the sideline. I mean, some of his throws, like Jack Jancic, yeah, he was probably going against a walk-on cornerback, but Jack Jancic is also a walk-on receiver. So for him to make a good throw like that to somebody that probably doesn't get a ton of reps in practice, I think that's – I saw enough yesterday where I was like, if Harrison Bailey is your starter, I think you could do a lot worse than having Harrison Bailey, because we saw that last year. Harrison Bailey should have started the whole entire year.
Yeah, he was – I would say really good chance he was your number one should have been your number one. I mean, I think that's Harrison Bailey I thought looked best yesterday. I don't think he looked good enough for me to be like, yeah, that's your starting quarterback. That's my only hesitation to it. I thought all three looked pretty good. I mean, I wasn't too – obviously the Hendon Hooker pick six wasn't great, but I mean, that was a really bad mistake, and I mean that was pretty much the.
Also, looking at it from a spring game, they're in non-contact, so Harrison Bailey's probably going to thrive in that because he's not a running quarterback. Hendon Hooker and Brian Maurer weren't really able to make a ton of plays with their legs because they were in non-contact jerseys. The gray jerseys, the smoky gray jerseys came back. What do you think about that?
I'm a big fan of smoky grays. I hate the smoky gray on white.
Sure, it's kind of.
I wish we could have just gone full smoky gray if we're gonna, but apparently they sold all the helmets, so
just gotta make new ones.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta make new ones.
Danny White, you're
up.
Yeah, you're a guru for marketing and fundraising. So there you go. There's your task: baseball and then smoky gray helmets. There you go.
Right.
Pecking order.
Exactly. I'm a baseball guy, obviously, but I'll take the smoky grays over a baseball upgrade. Actually, I think you can do both at the same time. I don't think they need to be. I don't think you need to prioritize. I think the University of Tennessee can afford both of them. So just put them both on number one list. Smoky gray helmets, and I don't even need the smoky gray jerseys, but the smoky gray helmets are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. Don't let those go. I hate that so many good things happen with Butch Jones. Because, we're trying to get rid of Checker Nealon. Checker Nealon is effing gorgeous. Neyland Stadium's beautiful with just people in it, without people in it. But with Checker Orange, or Checker Nealon, it was beautiful. It should not die off with Butch Jones. Beautiful.
I mean, that's the greatest pictures of Neyland Stadium are when Checker Nealon is there.
And it wasn't, that wasn't his idea. So why should it die off with him?
If the fans want to put it back together, it's going to be put back together.
But that's the problem. A lot of people are like, oh, that's a Butch Jones thing. It's not a Butch Jones thing. God, it's so stupid. Just like beating Florida wasn't a Butch Jones thing, but it's the last time we did that.
Yeah, let's see if he's able to do a checkered stadium in Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Do enough people know where Jonesboro, Arkansas is to fill a stadium in Jonesboro, Arkansas?
There's no way. There's no way.
I couldn't point it out on the map. I'd be lucky to get to Arkansas on a map.
I have one contractor there, so I do know where it's at, but it's not because of Butch Jones. It's because of something else.
But big geography, guys. So tell us where you're listening from. I'd like to learn where Jonesboro, Arkansas. I don't really care about Jonesboro, Arkansas, unless you're listening from Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Northeast Arkansas.
Then I'd like to know. I do want to also ask you thoughts on a transfer quarterback. I know this isn't really orange and white game, but you wanted to go quarterback. I'm cool with that.
Okay.
Thoughts? Potential transfer, because it seemed like he had committed and then maybe.
Apparently he's enrolled already.
I don't know how that's possible. He would have had to enroll in January or February. So I don't know. What's the argument? We can just look. I don't know if that's true. I saw someone say that, but
yeah, I don't know. But Joe Milton, apparently he was here this weekend.
I did see that he was here this weekend, along with a linebacker. Do you really want? I guess we do. We just talked about quarterback spring game. I was about to say we can just talk about the transfer portal because Tennessee's going to need to hit it hard.
Yep. And I think it does kind of tell you how this coaching staff kind of feels about their quarterback situation right now. I don't think they're satisfied with it whatsoever, and that's why you try to go get somebody else. And with that's kind of been the thing that's kind of held Tennessee back is quarterback play. So you definitely want to find somebody, within this offense. It's only going to work if you have a good quarterback that's able to run it.
Yeah. Hey, there is a Joe Milton. Don't know if it's the Joe Milton enrolled currently, an active student at UT. So
interesting.
I feel like that's a fairly. Oh no, he was. Yeah, this has to be him. Admitted summer of 2021. So
there you go. Joe Milton's enrolled. He's here
according to UTK directory.
Okay.
Online,
so he's here. I mean, maybe he didn't want it out there. He wanted to make a decision. Whatever.
Sorry,
yeah,
it's okay.
Well, I mean, because it was announced, and then he said, I'm picking between Tennessee and Washington State. But I do think it's funny how JG's is still kind of in a quarterback race with a potential Tennessee quarterback.
Yeah. I'm
not going to talk about that. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
The throw is terrible, man. It's awful.
Let's talk. I want to get into that later. That was kind of the fan thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
So I want to ask you though, orange and white game. I mean, we could go position by position. I don't think it would be helpful. I don't think you learned enough new. I do just want who impressed, and then was there anything that kind of surprised you, good or bad?
I mean, you talked about speed, and I think Tennessee has a ton of speed at running back and wide receiver. I think they're pretty much set with those two positions. And I think that's huge. They just got to get a quarterback. I think they have talent on the offensive line. They have options at, wide receiver, running back, Small, Beckwith, Jalen Wright, Tyon Evans. I mean, I think all those guys looked pretty good yesterday. Wide receiver, Jalen Hyatt, Velus Jones Jr. You have some guys that have kind of emerged, like Cedric Tillman, Anderson Kobe, that had pretty good days yesterday. So I think you have options at both of those positions, and offensive line has a lot of veterans. Mm-hmm. Darnell Wright, I saw him last night at Soccer Taco. That man can eat. But I mean, it looked like the starting offensive line. I mean, this could change because it is the spring, and who knows who might end up here this fall. But it looked like Dane Davis at left tackle, Jerome Carvin, Cooper Mays, Cade Mays, and then Darnell Wright was your right tackle. So that's who it looked like to me. With that, the ones that went with, I think Hendon Hooker was, I think the second possession was that offensive line. So I think you have some options there. Javonte Spraggins, he played a lot. Kayron Calvert has played a lot of SEC football. So, I mean, I think you have options at all three of those positions. I think the question mark coming out of yesterday is the defense. The offense looked good. Right. It's something to be excited about, but the defense, you're like – and when look into it. I think the secondary is going to be fine. Some of them made some plays. Warren Burrell had to pick 6.
And that's too kind of what defense. Yeah, like obviously didn't get a ton of stops and make a ton of great plays, but with this offense, what you're asking your defense to do, you're not asking them to make a ton of stops. You're asking them to you want them to slow the game down a little bit. Hopefully, not let teams score on first and second down, or first and second play of the drive or anything like that. Slow the game down a little bit, and then also make some big plays. And they made a big play with the pick 6. So
yeah, and I thought Alontae Taylor looked pretty good. I mean, and I think he has all the tools to be a really good corner, and not just the SEC, but I think he could be drafted. But he's got to get rid of the bonehead mistakes that he's had in the past. And if he's able to do that, I think he'll be just fine. I think that secondary will be just fine with the amount of experience that they have. I think Willie Martinez is a really good coach, so I think they're going to be fine. The front 7 is what worries the crap out of me.
And it's the defensive line, but it's really your linebacking group. I mean, defensive line, I think they're going to service you. You need a playmaker. Like, no doubt you need a pass rusher playmaker. But I think they'll service just fine. It's really the linebackers that just scare the crap out of me. Yeah,
and the defensive line yesterday didn't look great, but they're also missing a ton. Byron Young didn't go. Aubrey Solomon, Elijah Simmons, Latrell Bumpus, all those guys didn't dress out. So, I think they have enough talent there to be, like you said, serviceable, and they have a really good coach in Rodney Garner. But yeah, they're going to have somebody either emerge as a playmaker or go get somebody else because, who could? It's Tyler Barron going to be? Can he build on what he did last year?
Right.
Can Byron Young be, a legit SEC threat off the edge? Can Darrell Middleton make it the next step? I think Matthew Butler's been pretty good over his career. Can he, take a step up as well? But yeah, the linebacker is where you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's tough, and hopefully they can address that. Transfer portal. I mean, I don't know how much space you truly have. Like that's one issue is you can only bring in so many guys, and with Tennessee having a ton of needs, you're not going to be able to just completely address those in the transfer portal. But hopefully you can address some because you're desperate. I mean, that's it. You just – especially – I mean, really, I think you should be pretty much using all your resources at linebacker. Not that there aren't other positions of need, but that one you just need bodies.
Yeah, you do. And you will get 2 back in the fall. You'll get Jeremy Banks and Roman Harrison back, so that'll be big. I mean, those are probably 2 guys that will probably be a starter, at least in the second team. I don't know where Morvin Joseph is. He looked – apparently he's had a good spring, but this is also the first time he's played inside linebacker. Same with Roman Harrison. So, Jeremy Banks is basically your only – and Sloan Page are basically your only 2 guys with any kind of experience. And then you might get 2 more back with Martavius French, Aaron Willis, when they are able to come back. Guess they missed out on all of spring. But, those are 2 guys that were, highly touted. I think Martavius French had some playing time last season. So, I think you'll get some guys back. But, yeah, it's definitely a question mark coming out of a spring.
Yeah, and let's kind of just roll into that fall checklist as far as what this team really is going to need to address going in. I know we talked about some of it just a second ago, but I mean, really going to need with what from the scrimmage, for this team to be any kind of successful come fall of 2021.
Yeah, I think the first thing was me is find some help at linebacker. I mean, transfer portal, getting guys back.
You did have Juwan Mitchell on campus.
You did. See, I mean, I think there's room on this team where you can add a couple playmakers, but this defense, like you said, is going to need some playmakers, and I just don't know if they have enough to be really competitive in the SEC.
Right, and it would be a lot of it'd be great if Tennessee could go out and go and get kind of like extra to your roster on any given year, in the transfer portal. But right now, it's just you have so many areas that you absolutely need it, and then they're not necessarily places you go and just get they can't get the best available. You're not looking at. I mean, obviously, I think Tennessee's just going to kind of end up doing that, just kind of nature of the beast. because it's not a draft. You have to go out and recruit these guys. And a lot of these transfers, the transfers that can actually help you, a lot of them they're looking for better situations, and Tennessee can't necessarily offer that for all of them. Now, some are probably transferring because of playing time, but I'm sure a lot of it's, I haven't looked at the full transfer portal. I have no idea, but I'm sure a lot of people are looking for wins.
Yeah, and it's all about like why you're transferring too. Like that's, did something happen? What was there's a reason why these guys are transferring. It's not just like they're, I want to go win a national championship. Because if that's the case, then, they're not coming to Tennessee.
Right.
And sorry to say that. Sorry if that makes you mad, but that's just the fact of the matter.
Hopefully that changes in a few years, but it's just not the nature of the situation right now.
Yeah. Tennessee got crushed by the transfer portal, for it being as big as it is now, it was just a terrible timing thing that Tennessee was going through a coaching change. Basically all your, kind of best players just left with Henry To'oTo'o, Crouch, Eric Gray, Wanye Morris, all those guys went to better situations. And, to be determined with Crouch and Henry To'oTo'o, but, from the people that they've been linked to, it seems like they're, they want a better situation than what they're in.
And yeah, for sure. And did you see Eric Gray's run at Oklahoma? I think he had
it makes me freaking.
I didn't watch it, but that's Tennessee kind of got shafted with the way that worked out. And it sucks because
but it's good. Like the basketball team is taking advantage because the timing thing. It's like Tennessee is on. They've been successful up to this point. So guys that are looking for a better situation can come and produce at Tennessee. But, the football program, they're just completely opposites of, success the last, 5 to 10 years.
Right. It's tough. I think another thing Tennessee can, as far as going into the fall, and I think, we talked about it last week because a lot of the defense, I'm trying to remember who mentioned this. They talked about, hey, this is a tough offense to play in practice, and you saw it yesterday. that defense just doesn't have the dudes or they're not quite up to literal speed with the offense. I think one thing, that's going to be a thing to address is just getting in the right spots because I thought to me the defense looked like they were on their heels pretty much all day yesterday.
And it was very vanilla.
Yeah. But
so there wasn't a ton of blitzes. You obviously couldn't hit the quarterback. So it was an uphill battle from the get go. But yeah, they did not impress whatsoever.
And that's again why I think scrimmages are stupid. But as far as just call it an open practice like you did the other day and let fans in and enjoy it. But yeah, I think that's a great point. Is it's hard to truly go full tilt in a situation like that. But it just didn't. So yes. Again, take it with a grain of salt. Didn't look aggressive, but it was a scrimmage where you can't hit the quarterbacks, things like that. But I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the speed of offense. It's hard to just, while the ball's being snapped a lot of times going against an offense like that, you're still trying to get lined up. And so it's hard to be aggressive. So I think that's one thing Tennessee's done. And you saw it with the defensive coaching staff. They were pretty frustrated yesterday.
Mm. Yep. Yeah, I think my next thing, probably checklist wise, would just get healthy. You need all the bodies you can get available, especially on the defensive side. So I think just getting healthy is going to help this team tremendously. I talked about the receivers a little bit, and man, I was just impressed with speed wise because it's a perfect formula for this offense is speed. This offense, I think, playing vertical like they do, I don't think it would have worked very well with guys like Marquez Callaway and Juwan Jennings and stuff like that. Yeah, they'd probably make it work, but you're not going to see a lot of – it's going to be jump balls, and they're going to come down with it, for 50 yards or so. They're not going to, smoke somebody down the sideline for 80 yards.
Right.
So I think there's huge playability within that wide receiver group, and I like there's some guys kind of sprinkled in there that aren't just burners, guys like Cedric Tillman, who's kind of emerged, Anderson Kobe. I've heard Walker Merrill's had a pretty good spring until he got hurt. So yeah, and Malachi Wadman is a freak athlete we haven't heard a lot about, but I think he's another guy that can, spread the field and not just burn somebody, but can go up and get the football as well. So like checklist wise, I think it's just staying healthy, and I think it's letting your playmakers be playmakers.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's funny you mentioned, as far as how Tennessee wide receivers had to score touchdowns last year. I thought with Harrison Bailey's first touchdown pass, I was like, that might be a touchdown last year, but it was a 50-50 ball that Josh Palmer caught and somehow turned into a touchdown.
Exactly.
Not a ball that hits the guy in stride, whether busted coverage or not. So, yeah, funny that you mentioned that. But, okay. Anything else for fall checklist? I know it's kind of hard to – because you only saw so much. Like, you only ever see so much in the scrimmage. You didn't see – we had Eric Kane on, a guy who's been at every practice, and, he talks about how much you actually see in those. So, you only know really so much.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll find out against Bowling Green what this team actually looks like. But from what we've seen so far, I think the offense is something to be excited about. I think the defense has a lot of question marks, but they're also not very healthy. So,
right.
To be determined. If somebody was like, what do you think Tennessee goes next year? And what I would tell that person is, I don't think there's any reason why Tennessee can't do the same thing that Ole Miss did last year.
Yeah, especially with the schedule they have, I would agree with that.
I think Tennessee has more offensive talent than that Ole Miss team did last year. Now, they had a serviceable quarterback, so, it's determined, based off that position alone, because it is the most important position and definitely in football, but maybe all of sports. I think if you're able to get a serviceable quarterback, and I think there's some experience in that room, there's definitely some arm talent, there's some poise in the pocket. If they're able to find that one guy that's able to run this offense, I don't think there's any reason why they can't be like Ole Miss was last season.
Yeah, I think it would probably be a very, very similar situation. Hopefully piece together a few more wins, because like I said, you definitely want to see the wins come with the excitement. Because other than, then excitement just kind of dies out if you're not actually winning games.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with that. I do want to, before we get into baseball, Roger Piper mentioned, he said SEC Rally Cap, the baseball show, didn't mention a word about Tennessee baseball apparently today, which is pretty interesting because you talked about the barrage of home runs.
A Tennessee baseball show didn't mention.
Sorry, SEC baseball show.
SEC baseball show. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. What was the other? The nuke. What was the nuke comment? I can't remember.
Nuke party.
Nuke party. That was it. Nuke party. So pretty interesting. Seems like that would fit in great to a highlight show. I don't know. Call me crazy.
Tennessee scored how much on A&M in football last year?
Not 20.
Not 20. I think it was 7.
Was it 7? Probably. It definitely wasn't 20 points. I know
it was 13 or 7 or something like that. It wasn't 20.
It was not.
Wasn't even close to 20.
And they almost. They about got that in a inning. So wonderful. When you look at it like that. Thanks for the subtle reminder, Landon. We appreciate that. Bringing us all down. Bring us up, bring us down. 8.
Yeah, I got another prop, man.
Oh, you got another prop?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. That's pretty sweet, though. I'm a big foam finger guy. I love foam fingers.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take on a foam finger, for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's the one up there. The baseball, turn me up.
Basketball, come on.
Basketball, sorry. They're all coming together. But yeah, just another win on the road. You can nitpick. Tennessee didn't play their best baseball weekend. They had some
even
innings.
Today they didn't.
Yeah, in some innings they kind of fell apart a little bit. Yesterday I think it was in the second game. It was the 7th inning, I think, where Texas A&M scores 4 runs and they took the lead, and you weren't able to get that back. Because, man, I was ready to get the broom out. I wanted it.
I thought if you played a doubleheader in SEC or in college baseball, I thought the second game had to be a 7-inning game. Is that not the rule?
I don't think there's a rule in that. I think they can agree to do that.
Okay.
But I don't think there's a specific rule. So I mean, if you're able to get 9 innings in, you want to play 9 innings.
No, I agree. I just thought that was a rule because didn't Tennessee and LSU technically their second game that Saturday, wasn't it technically a doubleheader? Or sorry, technically a 7-inning game. I know it went into extras, and I can't remember what inning it ended up actually getting to on Sunday.
No, I think they were playing 9.
They were playing 9, and then the Sunday game was a 7-inning game, correct? That's what it was, I think. Oh, let me just pull it up. I think the second game was of that LSU series on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. It went into extra 8 innings. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So it's on Sunday, I guess, if you play 2 games, that second one has to be a 7-inning game. That has something to do with travel.
Yeah, I think that's right because you're never going to see a Sunday night game.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah, that might be the rule, but yeah, if you're able to get them in on Saturday, I think that you're going to play 9 innings.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, today was nuts. Tennessee trailed 6-5 going into the 7th, and then just freaking put it on Texas A&M. I don't know what happened. I mean, they took the lead in the 5th inning. Blade Tidwell just ran into some trouble. He was kind of cruising along those first 4 innings. I think he gave up a home run in the first, but through 4 innings just kind of cruised other than that 1 home run, and then just couldn't find the strike zone. And then whatever could go wrong did go wrong, and Texas A&M was able to get the lead. And then I don't know what happened. I mean, did we just go and juice our bats because the baseball was flying off?
That's working momentum, right? I mean, guys, just everybody. I guess you get a couple guys seeing the ball, and then everybody starts to see it real big like that.
Yeah, I think in the last 3 innings they had 15 hits. So Tennessee ended up with 21 hits on the day. They had 6 home runs. Evan Russell hit 2 because that's all he does, just draw bombs. I mean, that dude's a freak.
Where's he at? Where's he at on the season as far as home runs go versus the country?
I think he's 11th, but I think he's first in the SEC first in home runs in SEC play.
That's nuts that he's 11th.
No, so he has 11 on the year. I
thought you said.
I mean, there's some guys like 15.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few guys ahead of him, but I can't imagine he's.
Yeah, he's probably in the top 20 somewhere.
Yeah, let me see. I'll see if I can pull any information up. But I was just thinking about that today. I mean, added 2 to the list. I was like, that man has got to be somewhere.
I think he's hit 11. No, maybe he's hit like 10 in his last 16 games or something like that. I mean, it's just an insane.
And they're SEC games too. It's not like he just went out against the non-conference early in the year and just tore it up. I mean, not that he didn't play well either, but I'm just saying, like, it's definitely he's doing it against plenty of great competition.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he just freaking crushed the baseball. I don't know what it was today, but in those last 3 innings, Tennessee just got pissed off, and they weren't going to lose. Yesterday, Kirby Connell ran into some trouble. Chad Dallas shoved it on Friday, just like he normally does. The first game on Saturday. I keep wanting to say it's Friday, but it was the first game on Saturday because it was postponed. And then Jake Rucker had a phenomenal series. He went 9 for 14 on the series, 3 RBIs, just kept getting on base, kept getting doubles. And Drew Gilbert, man, what a day he had today. I mean, he was poor kid. He was 2 for 40 in his last 40 at bats. And then today goes 4 for 6, 3 RBIs.
Dang. And I'm sorry, I'm looking up, trying to find Evan Russell on here. He would be well back. There are a lot of guys with a lot of home runs. That's nuts to me. There's a guy there's Wes Clark from South Carolina's 3rd on the list with 15 home runs.
And I think Wes Clark has kind of struggled since getting into SEC play, if I
Gotcha.
remember that correctly. So he's kind of slowed down a little bit. So a lot of his are probably in that non-conference.
And it doesn't look like he's also a designated hitter too, but it also doesn't look like these have been updated this weekend. So like, you know, guys have probably moved farther up the list. But yeah, that's where he's at.
I also want to see like all these. I want to see like where Evan Russell looks compared to like Wes Clark is huge. I don't know if
Right.
you've seen him. I mean, he's a DH, so you expect like he probably feels every bit of his sleeves. I mean, he's jacked. Evan Russell's 5'11", 195.
Let's see. So he's at 12 home runs on the year, by the way.
Okay. So maybe he's at 11 in his last 16
Gotcha.
games.
Gotcha. Which is even – that's insane. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yep.
Golly. What is it like to be hitting that well? Like, you got to just be – it's got to feel great to step into the batter's box and be hitting that well.
Yeah, I mean, sophomore year when they opened the season, his sophomore year, so that was 2019, I was like, holy crap, he's the best hitter on this team.
I mean, I can't believe guys are still pitching to him this often. I know there's been some situations that he's had to get pitched to. God, was that Vanderbilt that they ended up having to pitch? Yeah, Vanderbilt ended up having to pitch to him.
They hit Pavloni on the hand,
Yeah.
And then they had to pitch to him. So yeah, and then he made him pay for it.
Which I guess he had a 3-run homer today too. So I guess you don't want to.
He had 2 3-run home runs today.
Yeah, that's right. So I guess you don't want to necessarily walk him there either. But I mean, good night, dude. How do you not walk? I don't know. It's just nuts to me that he's still getting thrown to. I mean, surely we see later in this season that he's not going to get thrown to as much.
Yeah, and Tennessee was hitting some balls deep to center field, and A&M Stadium it's 400 dead center. So yeah. I mean, it's pretty far out there. And Evan Russell hit his first one. I was like, holy crap! I mean, it hit the building behind that 400 sign. It's got to be 425 at least.
And I guess that's too. We've talked about how Tennessee's done a really good job of grinding out and getting on base. I guess that's another part. I mean, if you've got guys in front of you getting on base, it makes it harder for teams to pitch, to walk you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even when his teammates aren't necessarily hitting out of the park like him, at least they're grinding to get on base and, making it – because, I mean, it'd be easy if the bases are empty. It'd be easy just to put them on first.
Right.
So you're making them think and making them throw to a guy that he's not going to – I mean, surely – I don't know how you just slow down unless teams just start throwing away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, so Tennessee had 10 different guys get a hit today, 8 with multiple hits, and 5 different guys with home runs. So, a game that going into the 7th inning, you're like, oh, man, are we about to lose a series to A&M? To leaving no doubt in those last 3 innings. You scored 15 runs in those 3 innings. I mean, I don't know, like it was a hitting barrage. Like it was nuts. Like I was trying to keep up with, and every time I would tweet out like we'd score, somebody else would get a hit. And I'm like, I'm already like 3 batters behind, man. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I was telling you that it was fun to just sit there and refresh the Twitter page and a new hit or a new run every single time you got it open. It was a fun day to keep up with the game. I'm sure it was fun to watch. I didn't get the pleasure of doing that, but refreshing it was a very enjoyable too. It was scary after the 5th inning. I was like, shoot, this is going to be not fun to talk about tonight. Turns out complete opposite. It's the most fun you can talk about it.
Yeah, and props to Sean Hunley coming in and doing the job he did to get it to where Tennessee could score some more runs. I think he got the win today. And then Redmond Walsh came in, and Walsh has kind of struggled a little bit, especially in SEC play. But he came in here, got the save. I think that's his 4th on the year, and Tennessee gets the win on the road. So, you'd love to get the sweep, but going into that 7th inning, you're like, oh man, we're either about to squeak by A&M or we're about to lose to A&M. And Tennessee didn't do either one of those. They left, no doubt, and end up winning the game by 13 runs.
Yep. A lot of fun. You got Lipscomb on Tuesday night. I think after you hit 20. Score 20 runs. I think this calls for a Tequila Tuesday at Lindsey Nelson.
Sure. I would love to not have another game like we did against Tennessee Tech.
That just not fun to watch. And you're praying you don't.
Nervous.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got a couple SEC series left, and you're getting Knoxville was on the. Was it D1 Baseball dropped the projected regional sites?
Probably.
And someone did this week, and Knoxville was on there.
There was, baby.
So just kind of take care of business this year. You're kind of already in that slot.
I think Chris Burt kind of talked about on the broadcast today that D1 Baseball is, kind of had they've kind of not been too confident in Tennessee throughout the season. And, I would agree. Like, if you looked at teams on paper like Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Mississippi State, teams like that, yeah, Tennessee probably shouldn't be in the top 10. I mean, with the talent that they brought in, Tennessee probably shouldn't be up to that point in this, how far we were down up to this point in Tony Vitello's tenure. But, they just find ways to win. And, they have innings like they did today where, no one's going to beat that team if they're scoring 15 runs in 3 innings. Nobody.
No. And, not even necessarily you can take away 15 and put it on a team that's got a good bullpen that can try to do things to slow you down. And, if they're hitting like that, though, it's going to take a lot of really, really good baseball to not let Tennessee score. Teams like it would take a team like Vanderbilt to slow you down. And there's not a lot of teams. Sorry, there's not any teams like Vanderbilt besides Vanderbilt. So,
and then they had some errors. They had 3 errors in the game today. I don't know. They had 2 in one game yesterday. Let's see. The first game yesterday, they didn't have any. So they had 5 errors on the series, which isn't ideal. And Tennessee's usually pretty good about errors. But they just had, one was they lost the ball in the sun today in left field. One was a senior or a junior preseason All-American second baseman is running backwards because he's playing deep in a deep second base anyway, and is running backwards, and the right fielder doesn't call him off, and the ball gets dropped. So, there's some things that probably need to be cleaned up. But when I think Tennessee's a really good baseball team, and they're gritty. Yeah, they might not have all the talent that the Vanderbilts and things like that, and that's why D1 Baseball and others have kind of doubted Tennessee a little bit. And is that a Whitney Houston shirt?
Oh yeah, it is my Whitney Houston shirt. I love this shirt.
Okay. Where did you get it?
So I didn't get it. My sister got it from I think she ordered something like from Old Navy, and this got sent in the package. And I was like, "Can I have it?" And she was like, "Yeah, for sure." I was like, "Cool."
There it was.
Oh,
awesome shirt.
It could have been a Whitney Houston anything. I would have been like, "Yeah, can I have that?"
I freaking like Whitney's the GOAT.
Oh, I love Whitney.
Straight up GOAT. They're like, who's the best singer of all time? Hands down, Whitney Houston. It's not even close.
No. Dolly Parton, close second. My queens in order are Queens. I didn't say best singer. Queens, Dolly Parton, Whitney Houston.
Oh, yeah, Dolly's a queen for sure. But, like, singer, I'm going, like, pipes. It's Whitney all day.
Listen.
There's no second. I'm sorry. I love Dolly to death. She's Queen Bee. She's unmatched. Queen Bee. She's unmatched. But, like,
Queen D.
Queen D, yes. When we come to just straight up pipes, it's Whitney.
I mean, I'm not arguing because, yeah, she's number one. I just don't think we need to leave someone that sings something as great as
9 to 5
colors. 9 to 5 is a freaking heater, dude. I mean, you have people that don't even work Dolly's doesn't even work 9 to 5. You have people singing that don't even work them. So that's how much of a heater that song is. Yeah, I'd wear a Dolly. I'd wear the shit out of a Dolly Parton shirt if somebody wants to send me one. So
there you go.
Yeah, no free ads.
No free ads.
But send one.
That's why you're covering Whitney. I just saw a glimpse of it. Exactly. I had to point it out.
Hey, if Dolly Parton wants to come on the show, you are welcome anytime. Anytime. I would change any plans for you. I would welcome Dolly Parton on before like Peyton Manning. So yeah,
that's a hot take.
Sorry, Peyton. You can come on after Dolly.
Yeah, he's probably got a nationwide commercial to do anyway. So. But yeah, back to Tennessee baseball. I think this team is for real. I think they're able to compete with pretty much anybody in the country. They've got to clean up some errors, and I think they'll be just fine. Pitching wise, I think hitting wise, they can compete with anybody on any given night. Pitching wise, it kind of worries me a little bit that they do have tendencies to kind of give up, big innings every now and then. They just don't have the guys like, we saw Vanderbilt last weekend with Rocker and Leiter, and Tennessee just don't have those blow by guys. Now they got a freaking dog in Chad Dallas who I'll take over anybody and any given day. But I mean, other than Chad Dallas, I think it's kind of been by committee. It's not just like dominating pitching. It's hitting your spots, getting ground balls, getting pop flies, double plays, things like that. Tennessee's really good defensively. So when they're able to clean it up with the errors, I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, and I'll say this too as far as hitting. I probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I would be like, man, until that bottom of the lineup really starts picking it up, Tennessee's going to struggle. Bottom lineup's picked it up a lot, and you can see how much it's benefiting the entire team. So,
when Connor Pavoloni finally hit that first home run, here comes the bottom of the lineup. So,
right,
Evan Russell's kind of moved up a little bit. Max Ferguson has moved up in the lineup, and Jordan Beck got some hits this weekend. We mentioned Drew Gilbert's kind of struggled a little bit here in the past couple series, but he found it today. So hopefully they're able to carry that momentum to Lipscomb. And then this weekend is weird. They start on Thursday against Kentucky.
That's right. I was trying to look at the schedule. Maybe trying to get a right field Rowdies going. I don't know, something like that. And I'd have to do it illegally, the law. But maybe just a little tailgate right field Rowdies one day, maybe Friday night or Saturday. So
I love it. Let's do it.
We need to logistically see how that could work because hey, you don't have to put up the grandstand. We'll just show up.
And I think I can maybe get some hands on some tickets this weekend. So
I don't even need tickets. I'll just stand on top of my car in right field.
Okay, there you go.
Just leave me a parking spot in right field.
We'll do it. We'll get it straightened out. And we'll get those details out, hopefully. Friday. Oh, man.
See, dude, what sucks about Friday night is just getting into town on time.
What time is Saturday?
Saturday's 1 p.m. So
that sucks.
It's not too bad. I am getting it. Guys, new niece today. Congratulations, Sam and Eva. New niece this week. I'll be seeing my niece this weekend, hopefully.
You're an uncle.
I'm an uncle for the 17th time. Yeah. I'm a seasoned vet.
Yeah. There's nothing new to being an uncle. It's just another one.
Exactly. And
you got another one on the Christmas list.
Listen, I've won a lot of championships. I'm not going to change anything up now. It's just trusting the process and make, things work out from, just keep grinding day to day, 9 to 5 process, trust it, go win ball games. That's all I do. So.
Is this your congratulations speech?
Yeah, no, this is like the press conference that you just won. And it's like your first spring press conference back. And Nick Saban's like, listen, I'm not going to tell you who the starters are. We don't even that kind of, yeah, that one. So
even though everybody knows it's going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah, exactly. And Mac Jones actually is going to come back after. Dude, was that the worst pro day of all time?
I didn't watch his.
Oh, yeah. I didn't watch it. I just saw like highlights of it. Oh God, he was overthrowing like Devontae Smith. He had one through the middle of the field. It was terrible. And I was pretty high on Mac Jones after the season. So,
yeah.
And shouldn't you thrive in your pro day?
Yeah, it's weird because like you always get like one guy that's been like he's kind of under the radar, and then he's like really hyped up right before the draft. That's Mac Jones.
Zach Wilson. Wait, no, what? No, Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's going to go number 2 overall.
But like he was going to go number 2 like long before like the last 2 months. Then it was like, oh, the 49ers are taking Mac Jones 3rd overall. I'm like, 3rd overall? The guy who almost lost to Tennessee in Tuscaloosa? No.
He had a great year.
He did.
I thought there was another name thrown out for the 49ers. Is it officially Mac Jones? Is that who they're like kind of the words about? God, that's stupid.
But like the 49er fans are just like, hell no.
So dumb. I do like Mac Jones. I think he is a very good quarterback.
Third overall. If I'm taking a quarterback, if Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence are off the board, I mean,
I'm not touching Zach Wilson.
How do you not touch Justin Fields?
I'll say that Carolina got the sweet deal to get. I think Sam Darnold was drafted way too high, like not even close to.
100%.
But I think he could be a serviceable NFL quarterback. So I think Carolina got a sweet deal in all this, as far as like the Jets going to get Zach Wilson.
Shut your mouth. I'm so mad about that. He's terrible. He's trash.
Well, I mean, if they had people around him, like you're not going to win games with Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey. You're not going to win playoff games with Sam Darnold and Christian McCaffrey. But I mean, if you
he definitely wasn't going to win anything in New York with that team that they had.
Correct. But I mean, I think for the most part, okay, here's the thing. I think Sam Darnold was like, I would rate his NFL career better than I thought it would have been according to his college career. But he'll never get the underrated tag because the Jets are stupid. Because the entire NFL is stupid.
Right.
Like everyone had him as a first rounder. The dude was not a first rounder.
See, you don't think Zach Wilson is going to be okay? You think he's going to be like? Do you think he's going to be better or worse than Sam Darnold was in New York?
That's
same.
Yeah, I mean, probably slightly better, but I mean, like, how much better? I don't know if you can be a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, what sucks is like those teams are terrible. So, like, even if you are like an okay quarterback, like I think Baker Mayfield kind of lucked out going to the Browns because they were able to spend all that money on decent talent to make them okay.
Right.
But yeah, New York. I mean, that's just not a team. I wouldn't want to go to the Texans. I wouldn't want to go to Jacksonville. I wouldn't want to go to New York. Either team in New York.
Yeah, either. My thing about Zach Wilson is like he had one kind of good year. Like,
that's true.
And like I think a lot of people were like liked him his junior year, but it was never like he wasn't. People were like, I mean, this is the next guy. Like this is the next good quarterback, and that might have. I don't know. But then all of a sudden, after the season ends, now they're like, oh, we've seen the tape of Zach Wilson. He has this great pro day. Now he's better than Justin Fields? I don't know.
Yeah. Like Justin Fields he just keeps like going backwards, and I don't
It did have that.
why.
He did have that epilepsy thing that got released this week. So
yeah, that's weird. But
I think
I mean, like it's crazy. Like draft people like come up with anything to like knock you for. It's like the president of the United States. Like they're gonna dig up anything and everything on you.
The draft is one of the NFL draft is just the biggest. It's like a big reality show. They really need to do a like reality show of the draft because like I think you would like think about how dumb the camera setups will be. Like some of them are just so dumb. They're like,
and then Roger Goodell got vaccinated so he can awkwardly hug everybody.
Congrats on the sex, Roger. Getting to first base with a bunch of NFL linemen. That's hot. I mean, like, why is that news? Did the NFL release that to Schefter? Were they like, hey, man, just want to let you know Roger got his second dose today. He's going to be hugging all the bros.
He's got big Pfizer vibes going on.
Johnson & Johnson, actually. Just hope he doesn't break out in rashes.
Oh, God. He's got the clots.
Yeah. Like, dude, just what a weird thing to like be like, oh, my God, I can hug these guys I don't even know at the draft. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Dude, just shake their hand and go on.
How many guys text their agent and be like, I'm actually not going to I'm not going to the draft this year. I'll be doing it at home. Thanks, though. Change of plans. Roger told me he would touch me, and I'm out.
Where's it even at this year?
Wasn't it supposed to be in Vegas? Is it still in Vegas?
No.
I think it was supposed to be in Vegas, but I don't know.
If you haven't got vaccinated, you need to before you go there.
I don't know, man. It's like a COVID-free zone, isn't it?
Oh, probably. They're going to tell you it is.
What about what was that? Where the UFC fight was this week?
I don't know. I can't even keep up with the UFC anymore. I used to keep up with it, but I can't anymore.
Well, they also like during the pandemic, haven't there been just a ton more fights than normal?
Yeah, like it's guys that like I guess all the guys that we grew up with have pretty much like retired now, so I don't really know anybody anymore.
Oh, it's in Cleveland. That's right. It's in Cleveland.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, because did you see where they're doing like field
I'd
goals?
stay home too.
Yeah, they're letting guys go out and like kick field goals or girls, I guess, like during the draft at whatever the stadium's called.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think this is my shot to get in the NFL. See if I can go bang like a solid, 45-yarder or something crazy and off the ground.
Role?
Yeah,
be like a practice player or something.
Exactly. Like, hey, you need a guy who can kick some balls on your team. I can be that guy.
Yeah, like if our guy breaks his leg and we have nobody else, then you might play.
Dude, that would be the dream gig is to be like, have you heard the stories about emergency goalies for NHL?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I'll tell you that. I want to be an emergency NFL kicker or just any kicker. I'll do it for the indoor.
You're the Brucey of the NFL.
Yeah. Was Brucey a kicker? I thought he was way swung a different direction. But so in NHL emergency goalies, it's like, if goalie, because they only keep, I think, 2 on the roster anyway. So like if there's one goalie injured, all NHL arenas have like an emergency goalie apparently on standby. So like if both the goalies can't play, they bring in this guy who has obviously experience playing goalie, but he's not an NHL goalie. Like the most recent one, he won it, I think, for the Carolina, are they the Hurricanes? The Carolina Hurricanes won a game for him. Like, was that good in goal. And it was like an arena. I think it was the Canucks arena. So this guy's a big Canucks fan or something like that. Whatever team comes in and plays emergency goalie for the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Canucks and wins the game for the Hurricanes.
Dang. That's tough.
Yeah. I think it's so cool. Like, I don't know like another sport you could do that in, but that's pretty freaking cool. I think it's happened like with the Blackhawks before. I think it was a Blackhawks fan. They had to bring in the goalie, so you got to play for the Blackhawks. Like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Hacky.
I guess it's like the Derek Brodus, the get off the fraternity couch to go, kick versus.
Yeah.
Who'd they play? MTSU that year? I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
What happens if that's like the Florida game?
We're screwed.
Like, well, I mean, didn't they before Brodus like got there? Didn't they have like a lineman practicing kickoffs?
Probably. I mean, like when we were little, you used to have like the biggest guy because he'd kick it the farthest.
Oh yeah, you just toe the hell out of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, just a squibber down the middle.
Right. I mean, so if it's the Florida game, how trashed is he? Because there's rumors that he was already, a little tipsy, had maybe been tailgating. So what happens if it's the Florida game and he's like full blown tailgating?
I mean, I guess you roll with it.
You don't have anybody else.
Yeah. You ask the official if you can just like throw it off.
Yeah, exactly.
In backyard football.
flag football here.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw this one downfield.
Yeah.
You got to call out if you're kicking or throwing it. You got to give the little signal like, hey, this one's a toss.
That would be a perfect job for JG. He like literally gets to throw it to the other team.
God bless. Okay, let's get into most important fails. Let's get into those because before we get into most important, I do want to talk about that.
Also, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat.
Yeah, drop them in. I'm sorry, I've done a bad job of monitoring the chat today, but drop them in. Okay, so we've gotten a bunch of comments, and I've just been terrible. I apologize. Been off my game. Took a day off, and now I'm off. But so that video gets tweeted out. I shamefully watched it. I didn't want to. I don't care about him. He's not our quarterback anymore. I wish him the best of luck. Go on. But like the Tennessee fan in me that, it's easy to poke fun at Tennessee right now because we're down. We've been down for the last 10 plus years. Yeah, it's almost 15 years. So it's easy to poke fun, and I get that. So he moves to Washington State and the chattering, oh, he's getting out of a toxic situation. He's going to do better. Well, like the kind of person to me that's like, it wasn't like that. See, it's not just Tennessee. That like made me a little happy. I hate it for him. I hope he does good. I would love to see him do good at Washington State just because I don't wish ill on anybody. But, it's like when someone dumps your buddy, you're kind of rooting that girl does a little worse when she gets away. Like, that's your buddy. Like that, that's why you cheer against them. It's just you're fans. We're fans. We should. Especially because people have been the entire time like, oh, Tennessee fans have treated him poorly, blah, blah. I mean, I don't know. I just, part of the Tennessee being a fan of this team, someone leaves the team, and then that happens. I didn't tweet about it. I won't tweet about it. I did watch it. I didn't want to. I did watch it. It was bad.
I mean, 3 guys were going to intercept that ball.
He wanted to test him, man. You want to test him. I respect it. Test the defense.
Shoot.
You got any most important of the week?
I mean, how can you not say Tennessee just dropping bombs right in front of Johnny Football?
Oh, was he at the game?
He was there yesterday, so I don't know if he was there today, but he was there yesterday. So
well, hopefully he made it out for the show,
Yeah, hopefully.
God, I took a screenshot of this Arkansas, probably just because their jerseys are so ugly. Have you seen Arkansas's baseball jerseys? They look straight out of like 2006.
No, but Tennessee Tech, their uniforms other night were some of the ugliest uniforms I've ever seen in my entire life.
Really? I'll have to go look at them. I don't think I saw them.
They had it had like a tiny stripe until it got to like the knee, and then it got like a big stripe down to the ankle. And I was like, this looks like a freaking redneck softball team.
Maybe that's what they're going for.
Maybe. But it was not a great look.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't think I have any more most importance. I mean, Tennessee not losing the spring game was nice. And
but did they win? That's the question. They didn't lose, but did they win? No, see, that's the thing. Nothing
went terribly wrong, so I'm going to count it as a win.
Okay, fair. My first one, did you see Cole Calhoun of the Diamondbacks?
No, I did not.
So had a little foul to right field territory, I guess.
Oh, I did see that.
And Cole Calhoun goes to get it, has to reach into the stands, and a little kid actually outbids him for it. And it's just like all-star reaction. Because, I mean, it's got to be easy to get pissed off in the moment, because there's like, at least they were at Braves. At least it wasn't a Diamondbacks fan that caught it. It was a Braves fan. But, typically you see those guys get pissed off about getting in the way of the catch. So it's cool, like his reaction, just to fist bump the kid, made the kid's day very clearly. Hey, feel good.
Yeah, you got to want it more.
Exactly.
You want that foul ball, you got to go get it. I mean, if he's a Braves fan, he's not going to let you have it.
No. It was a great one. My next one, I don't know who the announcer is from Texas Tech. Did you see the foul ball go to the press box in the Texas Tech West Virginia game? And he has to get the hand out of pocket, and no doubter, and even framed it. Even more than a strike. He got it up in there. And so great play by the Texas Tech play-by-play guy.
That's awesome.
I think I've got one more.
Oh, I do have a most important. Sorry.
Hey, the University of Tennessee tennis school. The University of Tennessee beats Florida, and some controversy down the end. The line judge just being
SEC officiating, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Going to Birmingham, you never know what's going to get right.
Oh, we can't get away from them.
Some questionable ones, and then a cool video though that got tweeted out. What made me think of it? Lady Vols tennis on the bus. I don't know where they were going. Celebrated on the bus as it went. Love it, baby. One Tennessee.
Yeah, love the dog pile at the end. I think it was their first SEC championship since 2010.
They got to celebrate twice, so that made it.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. My first one is there was a list that came out. It was the best pizza joints in every Power 5 college town. Tennessee's was Dazzo's.
Guys, Gavino's is the best pizza in Knoxville. I'm going to tell you right now, it's Gavino's. Second, okay, not second. Good greasy pizza, Elidio's. If you want to know pizza, I got you. Just let me know. I'll get you the right pizza joint.
What's the one in the Old City?
See, that's like drunk pizza, but it is delicious. That is Da Vinci's.
Da Vinci's.
That is probably the best drunk pizza I've ever had.
It's true. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had it sober, so I couldn't
I
say
almost
it's
got
the
it one
best.
time. I was kind of like craving it one time. I was like, I could go for some just greasy ass Da Vinci's.
There you go. Yeah. South Coast, you think it's up there for you?
South Coast is good. It's not as good as Gavino's. No.
Okay.
It's probably like in my mind, it's probably better than Elidio's because it's not as greasy. But Elidio's is good. Elidio's is a lot like Da Vinci's.
So I had Vino's not Vino's in Arkansas this past week.
Oh yeah.
And it was like one of those just like hole in the wall, like just kind of, I mean, not gross, but you're just like, yeah, I probably don't want to like ever scrape up this floor.
That's the best. That's the best food though. You go in there.
Oh, it was delicious.
You're like, I don't really want to eat here.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we pulled in and my buddy that I was with, he was like, I don't know if we should eat here. I was like, if we go in and it looks like somewhere we shouldn't be, then we'll leave. And it was teetering to that point. You're like, yeah. But as soon as you walk in there, like, what do you want to order? And we're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's order. So they kind of sucker you in. Like if you're through the doors, you're in there.
I like that. That's a good strategy.
But this is why it's my most important because it has Alabama listed with Chuck E. Cheese.
I saw that, which is very interesting. Apparently, then the response was from the person that made this list, I just picked somewhere that the college kids like to go. Bro? Why are college kids hanging out at Chuck E. Cheese?
Oh, my God.
I was like, stars on the line, bro.
That's not a great look at all.
Yeah. Also, I didn't know Chuck E. Cheese is open. Haven't they filed for bankruptcy like 85 times?
Did they not get a little suspicious when they see like 80 college kids just walking through there all the time?
Yeah. Go get them grow up and get a Dave & Buster's and spend money like a real adult. Cheap ass Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, you don't have tokens. We have cards now.
Exactly. Okay, fail of the week.
Fail of the week. I have Georgia softball.
Okay.
So they hit a home run, but the girl who hits the home run jumps over home plate and doesn't touch it. And she is called out.
No. So what constitutes, like, when do they get out? Don't they have to get to the dugout first?
I think they went and either I don't know exactly what happened in this situation, but yeah, either they tag her or they like check it, and if she's like out of the baseline, she's out. If she's given herself up, she's out.
Gotcha. Okay. Dang, that sucks. I think it was Texas. Did you see that one girl hit a home run?
Oh, you know who it is?
Who?
This is Justin Fields' sister who did it.
That's why his draft stock went down.
It is. Because I just read the comment underneath it. It said, interesting, her and her brother both suck on the big stage.
Dang, golly.
That's terrible. I'll never say that. But that's hilarious.
That is hilarious. I won't lie. That's hilarious. Okay. Fail of the week. I think I have two. My first one, I don't know, most important fail maybe. Did you see the fight in Miami Airport?
God, no.
There's a fight in Miami Airport. First off, takes police officers. It was a minute and a half video, and not a single security guard or police officer is in sight. And these dudes are just beating the piss out of each other. Like, one dude's getting ganked, probably. Like, in terms of, like, I mean, there are, like, 3 guys on top of him. And then one guy's just like, guys, this is an airport.
Sir, this is the Wendy's.
What are you doing? Like, and I'm kind of with him. Like, what made you so mad in baggage claim that you guys are throwing fisticuffs?
Yeah. I mean, dude, put your belt back on. It's okay.
It seems like one of the worst places to fight, too. You're like, right outside baggage claim 11. Let's just go at it.
Did you touch my bag?
Yeah. I'm like,
Sir,
what is going
it's
on?
a black bag with wheels on it. It looks like every other black bag with wheels on it.
No clue, like, what's going on. But
So
yeah,
I had to pick up my
Great
bag,
video.
and they had to send it to Knoxville. We had a connecting flight, so they sent it to Knoxville, so I had to pick it up. And
did they like lose it? Like, or
no, they just had to put it, I guess, somewhere because it had like come through, so they had to put it somewhere. So I just had to ask them about it, and she was like, "Oh, what does your bag look like?" I was like, "It's black," and she's like, "Oh, and it has wheels on it, doesn't it?" And I was like, "Yikes!"
what do they want you to say? It's an 8-pocket bag.
I'm like, it has my name on it.
It looks like luggage. I don't know.
I can tell you what's in it.
I understand her frustration, but I'm also don't like. Maybe don't ask that question. Like, you should have asked that and been like, "Okay, yeah, you're right. Good point." Whew.
As soon as she said it, I was like, that's probably a stupid thing to just have a black bag like everybody else, but it is what it is. That's all I can afford. It was a gift. It was a gift. It was a Christmas gift. I don't know.
At the same
what else to do
time,
with it.
I have a blue one that I fly with.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue ones too.
Exactly. So it's like, what color do you get?
That's bright pink.
That nice.
I saw a lot of people, they like tie a bow on it. So, I mean, maybe it looks a little different.
Yeah, but I'm kind of with you. Just be like, hey, my name's on it. You can go on the luggage tags.
But also, like, if that bow comes off at any point, then you're like, oh, God, I lost my bag because I think you have a bow on it. So, there you go.
Yeah, that's I'm with. Yeah, stupid question. Maybe dumb. I don't know. I mean, yeah, whatever.
Sorry,
I'm on her side. I'm sorry. I'm on your side, but also I'm on her side a little bit. But I'm also on the side of don't ask the question. That was a dumb question.
Yeah.
Very dumb question. Can't really give a smart answer to it, guys. We appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back Wednesday, I believe. If not, we'll be back Sunday. We'll be back. That's the point. It's going to be, hey, this is the grind now. We got to get to – there's officially no football left. Good news is baseball, plenty of baseball left. We expect them to be playing well into June. And, plenty of that. Hopefully, maybe speaking of flights, maybe looking at Omaha. And that's what we need to do. We need to – here, Tony V, we need you to get to Omaha. We need to set up an interview with Peyton in Omaha.
With Tony V.
Yeah, sure. I mean, bring the whole crew. But
we are going to do that baseball roundtable one day.
We need to get it going. It might be a good thing to do. Maybe let him take a vacation, but maybe see if we can get him after the season. Kind of just talk the season.
Yeah, talk about a national championship. And
yeah, exactly.
It'd be fun. Be real fun. You have anything else?
That's it, guys. Always appreciate y'all hanging out. Can't wait to be back.
Yeah, go Vols. Play Lipscomb on Tuesday. Going to get the dub, and then we play Kentucky on Thursday. Also, football has ended for the spring, but, recruiting is going to pick up here in June. So we'll have plenty to talk about throughout this offseason. So stay with us.
The kids can get back on camp. Like, you can have official visits in June, right?
Yes. Yep.
Excellent.
Everything's open back up in June. As of now. I guess they could
that's
technically close that. But, yeah, as of now. Guys, that's all we got. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.